Ugas asked for 50-50, right? Ugas is asking for 50-50 now, which is poetic justice to me. Ugas is demanding 50-50, which to me is comical. It's comical. And I hope he don't back down off that shit. Because Ugas has options. Ugas can fight Thurman. Ugas can fight Sean Porter, because I think Sean is interested in that fight. Thurman is definitely interested in that fight. Ugas can fight a mandatory or something like that. Ugas can fight anybody right now. He don't have to fight Errol Spence. He don't have to fight Errol Spence. But of course, the question is, who's Errol gonna fight? Who Errol gonna get in the ring with if he don't fight Ugas? Because he's not fighting Thurman. He already said he ain't fighting Thurman. He gonna fight Sean Porter or Danny Garcia again? I doubt that. I doubt that. My boy Light Lit It Up says, Ugas asking for 50-50 and he has all the leverage. If Spence wants the belt and has to continue ducking Bud with justification from his fans. Absolutely. So here's the thing. Here's Earl's options right now. I love this move by Ugas. Because here's Errol Spence's option, right? He can either say, well, fuck Ugas, and then fight some bum that nobody fucking cares about. You know, maybe or fight a up and comer like a Virgil Ortiz or a motherfucking Boots Ennis. He could fight somebody like that. Or he can give Ugas that 50-50. But guess what? If he gives Ugas the 50-50, what happens to his fans now? Because his fans now are going to have to justify the fact that Ugas got 50-50, but Bud can't get 50-50. That's what his fans are going to say. Oh no, Ugas deserves 50-50 because he got that WBA bid. I really want to hear the excuses that are going to come out of Errol Spence's fans' mouth if Errol decides to give Ugas 50-50, which for me, I see that really as his only option because he's not fighting Boots or Virgil Ortiz. He could fight a bum, but that would make him look bad. Because he done already flipped off at the mouth saying this strap season bullshit. He done already said strap season. So for him to say strap season and then not fight for no strap, that makes him look bad regardless. So what's Errol really going to do? How's Errol really going to move at this point? I'm really curious to see what happens at this particular point in time. Mr. Strap Season, Mr. 60-40, 80-20, 70-30, miss that guy who you gonna fight, while on the other hand, you have Bud Crawford in a not so bad situation. You got Bud Crawford with a few options. Because Bud got Sean Porter on his left. He has the winner of Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez on his right. And then he has the possibility of moving up to 154 and going ham in that weight division with maybe people who actually wants to fight. With people who maybe want to actually fight him. And if Bud goes up to 154 and he beats Jermell Charlo, it's game over for Errol. It's game over for Errol. He's officially become irrelevant. If Bud Crawford goes up to 154 and he beats Jermell Charlo, Errol Spence has officially become irrelevant. Irrelevant. Because no matter what he does at that particular point in his career, it will pale in comparison to the accomplishments of a Bud Crawford. Pale. And Errol Spence will have nobody to blame but himself, really, at the end of the day. Because Earl could have just fought Bud. Could have gave Bud a 50-50. We could have been over. We could have been watching the fight. If Earl would have lost, cool, he would have lost. We would have watched his next fight. He would have been fine. That would have been a legacy fight, though. He would have fought the best and lost to the best and could have continued on with his career. Or we could have got a really good fight and maybe could have got a really good second fight and could have got a really good third fight and so on and so forth. Pacquiao and Marquez did 4 fights. Pacquiao and Marquez did 4 fights. But we can't get Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford 1. We can't get Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman 1. Because Earl has officially lost his goddamn mind and believes that he's much more than he actually fucking is. And that goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning of this motherfucking video. All that is fucking duck language, duck tactics at the end of the fucking day. Because if Earl was sure that he could beat Bud Crawford, guess what? He wouldn't have no goddamn problem fighting him at all. At all. Is the fact that Ugas is asking for 50-50. I'm so happy that Ugas, for whoever's advising Ugas, I'm so happy that Ugas is demanding 50-50 from Earl. Because if Earl turns around and gives Ugas 50-50, I want to hear what Earl fans gonna say. I want to hear how Earl fans are going to justify that bullshit. I want to hear it. I'm curious. I want it to happen just so I can hear what they say. Just so I can laugh at these weird ass niggas when they go live trying to justify that pussy ass bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I really want to hear that shit. And if Earl decides to go in another direction and he decides to fight some bum or do whatever the fuck he wants to do, I want to hear how his fans are going to justify that shit. Whatever direction Earl decides to go at this particular point in time, I really want to hear how his fans will fucking justify that bullshit. I'm going to close on that, man. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.